Chafing Armor Podcast, episode 155, A Matter of Family. Welcome back to the Chafing Armor Podcast. I'm your host and irascible Dungeon Master, Michael Corley. With us tonight, back from prom, is Izzy. Izzy, tell us who you'll be playing.
Hello, everybody. My name is Izzy, and I will be playing Marezi Mugraw, half-orc barbarian.
Go ahead.
Not a fan of fancy dresses.
No, not a fan
or
at all.
Suits.
Because she's had to secretly wear them at some point, or at least pretend to. And also with us tonight, I'm going to put a question mark on the type of character you're playing, but you can certainly say their name. Lee, tell us who you will be playing.
G'day everybody, my name is Lee, and I am playing Distant Bells of questionable origin.
Yes, we'll get to that in a moment. And also with us, who's hanging out and reconnecting with his mom, is James. James, tell us who you will be playing.
Hello, everyone. My name's James, and I am playing Pentancellis, a spell skill sorcerer who feels like he almost killed a birdman, but accidentally.
Exactly. And also with us tonight, whose cat was enjoying the incredible drama going on, is Athora. Athora, tell us... I'm sorry. There, I did it again. I do that once in a while, and I'm totally leaving that in there. Is Riley. Riley, tell us who you will be playing.
Hi, I'm Riley, and I'm playing Athora Greyfield, a lovable but strong-headed friend of the group. Wow,
yes, and I do love that you were like, your character last episode was just like, hey, well, let's just tie him down. It's fine. We'll get this done. And last but not least is Dare. Dare, tell us who you'll be playing.
Hello, everyone. I am Dare, and I'm playing your favorite gnome paladin, Tix Birchmanson.
And when we last left the players, they had defeated an evil wizard who was trying to literally turn Audrey the Chicken Hut to dust. Partially successful, resulting in that evil wizard's messy death at the hands of Penton. The good ship Piss Whistle showed up, and Duncan and Captain Jackson jumped off with presents for Penton from his lady love and faraway Masgate. Then suddenly a strange occurrence where a warning klaxon went up, warning that there was danger to the city, that there was an attack upon the city. And Marezi suddenly looked up and said, oh no, and just vanished from view. While this was going on, the party tried to end this enchantment that was on Distant Bells, and a wackiness ensued as Penton had the idea that this stone rock elemental that was part traveling with him could literally bite through the shackles that were keeping him enchanted. That Penton's mother had tried to disenchant it and discovered that was the cause. And Distant Bells wasn't really too down with that, so it took an incredible amount of effort from the players. And I, as someone said before, I wish we could have someone animate this amazing scene that finally ended in Distant Bells having his shackle removed and the toyification of him ending, but something else occurring. And that's what we found out about Distant Bells. And Lee, I would like you to describe what we are seeing now.
So Distant Bells, turns out, wasn't a Kenku at all. The enchantment placed upon him basically just made everybody, including him and, the enchantment itself, turn him into a Kenku. He's actually technically a were-raven. So yeah, that's fun. But he's grown up. He's lived his entire life believing he's a Kenku. So how this all comes together, we shall see. But,
so he's got a human form?
He does.
And in fact, he assumed it right at the end.
Indeed.
He took on a human form.
That is what the party is seeing now. Everyone except Morezi, who, this is going to be interesting when Morezi comes back and finds a completely different person. Did you kill Belzer? Did you kill another party member?
Who's this strange man?
But, yeah. And alongside that, Belz is also an outlaw.
Yes.
Nice.
And so tell everyone, Distant Bells, about your new level, when you chose a new level.
So yes, when I leveled up, Bells prestiged into an outlaw of the Crimson Road. So yeah, it required being named an outlaw, but yeah, he is now technically an outlaw of the Crimson Road, a prestige class, which allows him some extra cool stuff, such as he can now perform ambushes. Yeah, basically he has some new things. He can now perform ambushes, which allows him to basically perform more sneak attacks on unaware enemies that stack with his already proficient sneak attacks. So yeah, don't let him catch you unaware, because there's a very, very good chance that he will kill you outright. And he can now, he has the ability to basically create, well, like safe houses and things where, you know, he forms different little relationships with people everywhere he goes to hide him because, well, he's an outlaw. If anybody sees him, it is quite literally legal to kill him on sight. So
Yes.
he can now form relationships and safe houses with people and all that kind of thing. He's already done it now with the people in charge of Kalimvor, who have very generously decided that they haven't seen him. So
Yes, they have.
And,
And he literally looks different, both before and now.
it also means he now has a code of honor that he must follow. If he doesn't follow it or willingly and willfully breaks it, he loses all his benefits of being an outlaw. Which basically just means that there are certain things he will not do.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah,
Pretty
I was
much,
gonna say,
yeah.
We have somebody else who has a similar.
Basically,
backstory.
yeah,
Two people.
he cannot rob or basically perform any illegal activities on children and families. So he can't, you know, steal from them or murder them or basically anything to do with them. They are off limits.
Who?
Poor people and families and children.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it's
Nice.
nothing major, but it does mean that it you know, if you know, we walk into a den of it doesn't matter what it is, like human, elf, ogre, whatever, it doesn't matter. If they're poor and have families, he can't touch them.
Gotcha.
I should let you know that the Kraken is a mother of three. Just kidding.
I hate you.
Just kidding.
And
Just
has
kidding.
no money, so
No. Yes. I mean, technically, you know, no. It doesn't even have a savings account. No. So just so y'all know, that's what was going on with that proclamation. And it's very true that he was seen outside right as Zental Keep was destroyed. And he was the last person seen out there, and he has a criminal history in Zental Keep. And the two and two were put together, and he was declared an enemy of the state. So if he is caught anywhere in Hyboria, or even not in Hyboria, someone who's trying to collect the bounty, he is kill on sight.
fun.
So, FYI. So, moving right along, they've got a little bit of a klaxon going on, and also a just transformed Distant Bells. What would y'all like to do?
I'm gonna
Bells is
walk-
currently unconscious, by the way.
Yeah,
after
I'm
that
gonna walk up
experience.
Fair.
to walk up to this humanoid person that appeared where Bells was, and kind of poke them with my new staff a little bit, just to see if they're still alive. Are they alive at all? I hope. Let's see if there's any kind of
He
reaction.
does appear to be alive.
Okay.
He is breathing. Again,
Tix
finally,
goes up.
after so long.
Tix goes up and does lesser restoration on him.
Okay. The magic washes over him, and his some of the, for lack of a better word, trauma of his transformation seems to be righted, but there is no effect. There is nothing to restore because this is actually his true form. Of course, you didn't know that at the time.
Well, I'll be. Tix pokes him also in the ribs.
Everyone take a turn.
Yes,
How
kick
tall
the
is he?
unconscious man.
Is he the same height?
He's a little bit taller than he was. He's a little bit shorter than Penton.
Can you give him a look over and see if he's sick or something? Slap him on the face, wake him up. I don't know. You're the one with the medical training.
Somebody go get a scoop of the seawater. Splash his face. Tix goes and takes his helmet, and scoops up some seawater, and comes over and dumps it on his face.
Cold water splashes over you, distant bells. Do you think you start to awaken yet?
Bells would probably...
It's cold.
and just kind of looks around and just opens his mouth, but nothing comes out. No sound, none of his usual repertoire of sounds comes out. And
Okay.
you get a better look at him. He's a slim but rugged and muscular young man of, you'd guess, between 19 and 22. Just a little shorter than Penton. He has some piercing amber eyes and a big, wide, toothy grin. He's tan, shoulder-length black hair, and a smattering of freckles across his nose and shoulders. When he stands up, he stands with a relatively wide stance, much like Bell's old stance used to be. You know, that low, sort of ready-for-anything stance. He's covered in scars, some old and new, but mostly he just looks like a farm boy. Like Penton used to do at level 1.
Now
Hi
Pinton
there.
looks like an angry dragon god. Sorry. Please go with hi there.
That's right, Dragon God. Remember that.
Tell your friends.
Hi there. Are you? I'm not going to assume anything at this point. Are you the same person that was there a moment ago? Is that you, Bells?
Bells kind of tries to make more sound, and it doesn't work. He's trying to do the normal sounds that to indicate that yes, it's him, but he doesn't have a Kenku voice box anymore, or Kenku abilities anymore, in terms of making noise at least. Because his throat is different now. So all that really comes out is
Oh, well, I'm going to take that as a yes.
He kind of suddenly realizes that he has hands instead of talons and skin, and sort of starts. You can see him start to panic.
Is all his equipment with him?
Most of it's on the
yes.
floor next to him.
Yeah, it is kind of scattered about, but it is all there and returned to its normal size and shape.
But he is definitely panicking.
Okay, I can see you're distressed. Did you know about this? You being like this? Is this something new?
That it sort of cuts. It sort of cuts through to Bells what he's asking. He just kind of shoots him this look like it's quite obvious. Does it look like I knew this was a thing? This is all new. He's not okay.
So,
Well, I've read. Tix says I've read about were ravens and were creatures, and we had a shifter for a friend. So I know it's in the real realm of possibility, but this is still shocking. I don't know what to make of this.
Which reminds me, what's Jackson's reaction, or all the Piss Whistle members' reaction to what has just happened and all of this stuff? They are
Stunned
still around.
silence. They're just staring, and you just hear like a, huh. Another one. It's what Jackson says. They're stunned. It was a really crazy thing.
Oh yeah, to Jackson, this wouldn't have been like this. Would have been very like Shifter, because that's the only context that she has.
That's her point of reference. Yeah, and of course
cool.
that crazy group that hunts lycanthropes considers shifters to be part of them, so they are lumped together.
Yes.
So now you have another group after you.
Well, they will when they find out. But yeah.
Also, you seem like you're a different kind of bird at first, and then now this. I don't understand. What was with that shackle?
Upon hearing that word, like something happened, clicks in his mind. He kind of reaches for his ankle and is just like, "It's not there anymore." And he's like, he's looking around. He's like,
"Oh, it's definitely in the rock elemental's belly now."
Yeah, and Felzik is sitting like crisscross applesauce on the ground and is just in utter contentment, just like you've just eaten a 10-course meal, and is just sitting there and like softly humming to themselves. And which, of course, to y'all is like, but to you, Tix is like, oh, my tummy is so happy.
on seeing
Tix
this,
walks
Bell's
over and
kind of
puts his hand on Felzik's shoulder, gives him a silver piece for dessert.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad I was able to help.
Good
Bell's
job,
kind
Felzik.
Bells kind of looks around and sees all of his gear and just kind of like starts gathering it up and moving relatively quickly away from Felzik and stumbling because he's kind of not used to the fact that he has arms and legs now and his whole center of gravity is different. So, yeah, he's just kind of running around, tripping over himself and trying to gather up all his equipment while moving as far away from the rock monster that almost killed him, as quickly as possible while still turning over in his head what the hell just happened, all the while still making sounds because he's still trying to speak, but it's not working because his throat isn't the same.
Fundamentally different. About 10 minutes ago, Morezi, you were watching various antics going on the beach, trying to figure out what was happening, what to do next, when you people would be kind enough to stop talking and start punching things. And that is when you heard something. Of course, Morezi, the way that you go into a berserker rage is by biting your lip, as your mother had taught you. But this isn't going into a berserker rage as much as going into a tribal rage. When the Mugrab clan would go into battle, there were drums. Boom, boom, boom. Drums made from the hides of your enemies. The Mugras were not as brutal as some orcs, but they were still orcs. And they were known and feared all throughout the plains, and all throughout Beltrain knew of the Mugra clan. And the way that you knew that the Mugra clan was moving upon you was the sound of drums. Boom, boom. And you looked up suddenly, and you heard them. You heard the drums of the Mugra clan. And suddenly, it was like something had just hooked behind your spine, and yank you forward. And you find yourself standing just outside of a forest at a small clearing. And you find yourself looking right into the eyes of your brother. And he slams his fist into his chest at the sight of you.
Marezi returns the greeting. She's stunned. She was not expecting this. It's been so long, and her plans have been so like sidetracked that I think it even took a minute for her to remember that, like, you know, the whole reason she ended up where she was is because of her full orc half brother Nargash.
Yes. That all this time you have been looking for your brother. It's just that God stuff got in the way.
Yeah.
And here he is. And orcs do smile. That is completely not true that orcs don't smile, but they do tend to be a little more grim. And your
when
brother
they smile, everybody shivers.
It's true, because when they show their tusks, and you know, if someone else was standing, like if the rest of the party was standing next to you, it would remind them that, like, you are a half orc. You know, you are huge and you are beefy and you could, like, you know, push over a cart with your bare hands. But your brother is the Hulk. You know, he is just and just knotted muscle, and an enormous two-handed battle axe is strapped to his back, and his long braided hair comes down behind him, and he says, "I greet you, blood of my blood."
Blood of my blood. What? How? How are you here? What have you...
How long has it been? I was going to say it's been years. Is that correct?
It has been 3 years. Total.
It's been years.
Much has happened, sister. Much has happened with the clan. I brought you here upon sensing your presence. And you hear a voice that you recognize, Marezi. And he goes, "Well, technically, I brought you..." "Yes!" says Ganarsh. I'm sorry, am I pronouncing
Nargash.
Nargash, oh my god. Yes, Nargash. Tovar, the necromancer, steps forward.
Ah, yes. He was the one who had Mr. Clicks, right?
That is right, and with him is the resurrected, if that is the right word, Mr. Clicks. As he comes forward and goes, "I have brought you to us, Morezi. It is good and well to see you again."
Tovar, it's been a long time.
It has, and he's looking old, because he was not young, and it's been 3 years, and orcs don't live that long. So he actually, like, visually, like, he looks like the difference between somebody who was 70 who, like, is now 80. You know, he's looking very wizened. But he still is a powerful necromancer, and his skeletal wyvern is snaking about him, making the iconic click, 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 click sounds with its claws. Mr. Clicks, perhaps the only thing in the world that he loves besides the clan.
Of course.
He turns to your brother and says, "Clan leader, what is your next order?" And that's where we cut back to y'all, as you hear the soldiers manning the defenses of the walls of Kalimvor, which are tall and strong and old. As they begin to man the defenses, you notice that they are primarily manning those facing east, facing back towards Beltrain, not towards the west, where Massgate and Hyboria and the Piss Whistle Vince came from.
Tix offers to escort Distant Bells back to the hotel, and nods at Penton and Thor that they can go ahead to walls to find out what's going on, and he'll join them in a little bit.
Okay. And Distant Bells, are you going to go back there, or are you going to go with them?
Bell's kind of at this point he's just going to follow Tix. Like there's really no point in putting up a fight, especially considering he has no idea what the hell just happened or what's going on. He wants to defend the town, but there's like his stuff doesn't fit. It's not made for his body, so he's kind of like the daggers are fine, but like his armor doesn't fit anymore. And
No, your armor doesn't fit anymore. The magical items that you have, like the cloak, do magically resize themselves, but everything else doesn't really fit anymore.
his normal his other cloak works fine too as well, since it was just like it was built for all sizes essentially. It's just a cloak. It'll be a little smaller than it was before, but it'll still fit.
Yeah.
The one he had specially made way back when. But like his armor just it doesn't fit. He needs to get that resized and all the rest of it. So he's kind of hopeless at this point. So he's just going to follow Tix. And still making really horrible noises because he thought it was bad enough when he had to like basically play tape recorder, but now he can't speak at all. He's just gurgling and he's not okay. Like it feels worse than before when he didn't really have many other like phrases he could use.
It's really awful. It's very, very bad. I mean, everything is wrong. Every single thing about you is wrong, and the things that are actually an advantage to you as a kinku are also gone.
Mm-hmm.
So your balance is completely off. Your speech is completely messed up. I mean, everything. And,
I can no longer see in the dark.
Mm-hmm. So just a clarification, Tix, are you taking him to the hotel, or are you taking him to Bezra Bajan's residence?
Bells was kind of like moving in the direction of Bezra Bajan anyway.
Okay. That is technically where Osfalar and Petniak are staying right now. So there is that. If you want. And actually, Taka is actually there too, recovering from his harrowing ordeal. So you certainly can make your way back there and get him ensconced. While that is doing that, the rest of y'all make your way to the walls.
I'm gonna get a vantage point. I'm telling everyone else this. I'm gonna get a vantage point real quick and see what's going on. And he starts flapping, and going upwards.
Yep.
Sporadically but consistently.
Yeah, it's a little bit of getting used to, but you can straight up fly now.
Yeah. So they fly now? They fly now. So yeah, he's gonna go up until he can kind of like peek over the angle, up over the wall and see what's going on out there, or at least get an idea.
Yeah. You rise up and give me a spot check with, of course, Aphil, because Aphil is here.
Well, that's better. 18.
18. Okay. You see a lot. There is a great open plain to the east that slopes down after several miles into a forest. Y'all did not come this way. Y'all literally came from the north, which is where the Frostspire and all that were.
Right.
There is not one, but two armies marching on the city. With the spot check, certainly, but also the fact that it's kind of hard to miss. One of them is a human army, and the other one is an orc army.
Oh, boy. Is there a guy in a mountain with an Arkenstone, too?
Yeah, it is. It does have certain similarities to that, as y'all are... They are marching on the city. With the 18, also, there is, with their banners are up above. This is a very organized march.
I haven't paid my sub, so I'm not going to be able to participate in this battle.
Oh, sorry. You recognize that this is the kingdom of Beltrane's great army. In other words, this is what is left and what has been rebuilt after the Battle of Sunrise and Sunset. In other words, the battle that started Chafing Armor was the defeat of this army, which you were part of as the court magician tasked with looking over the princess of Beltrain. This is that army.
Right.
And obviously, in 3 years, you can rebuild an army, and it is marching on Hyboria.
So the humans and the Beltrain army and the orcs, they're marching together?
They are not, like, literally together, but they do seem to be of the same purpose.
Of common purpose, yeah. Okay.
Of common purpose, yes.
Okay, that's not good. And I'll just kind of glide back and circles down back to everybody else. The full force of Beltrain is marching on the walls right now.
Good
so that's not
news,
good.
everyone!
How do we put a stop to this? Any ideas, anybody?
Well, you could try attacking them. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes. Yes. I swoop in, throw a couple lightning bolts, and get shot out of the sky. Perfect. That's not a good idea. Well, let's start heading to the walls. I think I'm going to do something stupid. If that's okay by everybody.
I mean, it's literally just Merezi and... not Merezi, Athora and Tix at this point. No, Tix, just Athora, actually.
Oh, yeah, that's just Athora.
It's just you and Athora.
It's you and me, Athora. Let's go do something stupid. What do you say?
Sure.
And if you wish to participate, Tix, you can be returning now that you have ensconced, because this took some time for him to fly ahead and scout and all of that good stuff.
So Tix will arrive in just a few minutes when Athora and Pinton are about to get in trouble.
Yeah. Hey, Tix, want to come do something stupid with us?
I would rather do something clever, but if stupid is all we have to work with...
If you
We'll
can
make
find
it
something
work.
clever to do before we get to the walls, I will listen.
Okay, what's the situation?
The entire forest of Beltrain is marching on the city.
And the orcs.
That's it?
And the
We
orcs.
can handle them. Oh, and orcs.
And orcs.
Where's Merezi?
Don't know.
Well, that doesn't sound good.
She hasn't come back. I don't know where she is.
And there's an orc army out there. And Beltrain.
And Beltrain. I think I'm going to have to try and invoke my position as the spokesperson for the princess at this point and try and say something. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to try it.
I'll come along with you. I didn't have
I
any
think we-
rank in the army back when the battle happened, but
Oh, well, I don't think I did either, other than, advisory position. But things have changed since then, so we'll see what we can
let's
do
go
about
do something
that.
fun.
Yeah, and Penton kicks on his glow immediately because he doesn't want to have to kick it on later. So he's trying to be in his most shiny, regalious self as he possibly can.
Tix draws himself up to his full height and presses the icon on his splint mail, and his armor starts to glow along with Hinton.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Athora, you want to glow too? Can you do anything?
Glowing.
You want to do some glowy?
Set her on
You
fire.
want to flash your ugly cloak at them?
I fluff up some of the parts so they're kind of smooth in maybe more than 7 directions, just maybe 4. So it's not as chaotic.
I'd love I would adore if the culmination of this whole thing was just Athora steps out wearing that cloak and both armies just like, okay, we're gonna go home now. That has offended our senses.
We all look like this inside. You don't want to be here. And start heading toward the main gate. I assume there's a main gate over there.
Yes. Obviously, the gate is closed, but if you want to go out through the side, they will allow it.
Let us out.
Your funeral.
Yeah.
No
No matter what you hear, no matter what you see, don't let us back in.
Yes. Open it! Open it! The truth is y'all are famous, and the most of the town saw you save those children from the aboleth, and you are known to these people, and so they let you out and say, please do what you can.
I will certainly try. We will certainly try. Oof. All right, and I will start heading toward what I probably could interpret as like the lead banner, at least on the Beltrain side, with my limited knowledge of Beltrain's hierarchy, symbolism, and whatnot.
Yeah, you have some knowledge of that. You can make your way towards and a advanced scout cry halt because they don't know that you're not attacking. And y'all all look very dangerous. Every single one of you looks very, very dangerous. A knight comes forward and says, "Declare yourselves!"
Good night. I am Penton Chalice, advisor to the princess. I've come to parley.
I am Tix Birchmanson, paladin of Garl Glittergold, carrier of burden and glorious purpose.
Glorious purpose.
And Athora.
I got this cool sword.
I got a cat.
I do cold stuff.
First of all, I would like you to make a diplomacy roll.
Yeah, you don't have to have a title to be useful. Yeah.
It's true. That's very, very true.
She's killed more people than you have.
True. Yeah. Okay. Plus my +2 for the glow. Oh, what a time to roll a 20.
Oh,
So that be 38.
30.
Wow.
So what I'm going to say is, which I was considering based on what happened here, is this knight is actually one of the survivors of the Battle of Sunrise and Sunset.
Aha.
And he recognizes you because you're a beautiful spell skill sorcerer and you were a court magician. And he says, I know your face, sir. This is, to be perfectly honest, we thought you were dead. Rumor had it that you had been skinned by goblins.
That was almost true. Luckily, my companions saved me from that fate.
Well, I would be happy to bring you and your compatriots, but I warn you that any misdeeds will be met with harshly.
Speak not to me of misdeeds, sir. Out here is the misdeed.
We serve a higher power.
His expression darkens at that. And he says, come with me. Morezi, as you you are being led forward, and you see now coming out of the forest, as if by magic, is the full might of the Mugra clan marching forward towards Kalimvor. And you are marching with them at the moment, and your brother, who was not the head of the Mugra clan when you left, but is now. As you march, he says, what has transpired with you, sister? How came you to be here?
I was intercepted by a group of adventurers. We've been, dealing with, higher forces, I suppose. Just recently, I, went toe-to-toe with one myself. It's been strange. It's been all very strange, big-picture stuff.
Magic. And he spits on the ground. He shares your feeling towards magic, and you hear Tovar grumbling behind you. That is frustrating, but we do sometimes serve higher powers, as we are forced to do. When we fought in the great battle, it was to help secure the god's set to come through this world so that he could secure our power. Not only did it not happen, The god was slain. Most
I see.
most inconvenient. And he slaps you on the back. And he goes,
Yes. I've killed a god now.
and he stops. He just straight up stops walking and like does that slow turn where he looks at you and he goes, I know that on rare occasions you do jest, sister. What?
It was called Bane. It took physical form, and I killed it.
Somewhere in a manner, Bells is getting noticeably frustrated.
It's like, I killed half of it. I blew up half of it.
I killed his butt.
That's right. I killed a god's butt. But they don't put that on plaques. As you march forward, there comes a sound from behind you. It is the one that you heard the very least in your childhood, and it is the sound of raucous laughter. You know, ah, ah, oh, 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 and a hand, wham, hits you on the shoulder and spins you around. And there she is, slightly shorter than you, but just broad as a brick house, just solid as can possibly be. Hair, just tight ringed braids, covered in metal, and an enormous spear strapped to her back is your mother, Yamish.
I see. Mother.
Killed a god, did you? And she boom, like double hand, like double palm, slams into your chest, and you stagger backwards. And even though your mother is getting up in years, when you left, she was not like a general, because y'all don't really have generals, but she was considered to be the greatest berserker of your clan. Your brother actually is not a berserker. He would be more considered a fighter. Is a little more strategic. But your mother is considered one of the greatest berserkers of the clan, that her fury was legendary. But even now, her humor is bursting through as she's saying, Tell us more about this slaying of a god. I love it.
Well, you see, I had come across in my travels a magic item that allowed me to harm beings of magic. It's quite great, really. And with this halberd, all reliable, the god was trying to take form by possessing a baby that was being born. One of my party mates, I've been traveling with a group of people here, was helping her give birth while we were trying to stop this god, Bane. I don't think he's one of the big ones, but he was a god. He almost killed me. He almost pulled off my head.
And at that, you actually feel like a slight twinge of the muscles and tendons of your neck as they have the memory of what it felt like to almost have your head pulled off your body.
When I came out of my berserker rage, I actually almost died, if not for my party.
I am very proud of you, Moresi. I always knew that you had it. I always knew that you had it in you, and I never for once doubted that you would be a great warrior. Now come with us. We will take this city, and we will cast it into the dust. And that's where we'll end Chafing Armor, episode 155. Poop's about to get real, ladies and gentlemen.
Ooh, boy.
So, I would like to do just one more little postscript. Distant Bells, you are in a room. There's been food laid out for you, clothes laid out for you that fit a little bit better. What would you be trying to do at this moment?
Learning to speak would be one of my first priorities, or communicate. I can still write, but it's tedious going with the fact that I have 5 fingers now instead of 4 talons. I'm not
Yep.
used to having 5 fingers, and this extra finger and these little lumps of meat are not really conducive at the moment to holding a quill. It's still like I might as well be like fat fisting a crayon at this point. That's what it feels like. I'm having to learn all kinds of new things. So he would be wanting to like indicate that, you know, if someone could find a way to help him speak and adjust his armor, that would be great.
You are able to communicate that, and they do take your armor to begin the process of doing that. Bezra Bajan is extraordinarily wealthy and can easily have something done while you're trying to write and just so frustrated, and you also realize that your perfect copying skill is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Your ability to perfectly copy something that you see is gone. And that frustration is you're trying to just write your name and it's like not working right. And you hear a voice behind you and say, yeah, I had trouble with that too. The key is not to try to do it the way you did it before. Because you can't do it the way you did it before. It doesn't exist anymore. And with that, the object of your nightmares reaches over your shoulder and a silver arm picks up the quill delicately, and Taka the monk begins to write in a almost beautiful script. And Taka says, I want you to imagine that the pen is part of you. And that will make you stop thinking about your hand. Because I had to learn how to make this arm part of me. And I think that you can do the same. And that's where we'll wrap up for tonight. But thank you all for playing.
Thank you for
you.
not killing us yet.
Trying to destroy the city.
Time to destroy the city as 2 armies march on it. And the clock runs out and everything
When
is about to
2
happen.
tribes go to war.
Thank you for letting Morezi have a nice moment with her family before the inevitable.
Yes, before the inevitable tragedy of all of them dying. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I
This is gonna
don't
be
I don't
interesting.
subscribe to everyone needs to die in order to be dramatic.
So basically, just to really tie this up into a bow, a party of 5 has to, one of them going through severe trauma, has to negotiate a peace treaty between the city of the dead, the remnants of an army from a different nation, an entire orc tribe, make sure nobody dies, all in the space of 6 days before the Kraken attacks and destroys the world. Have I got
Nailed
that
it.
Yep.
pretty
Yep.
correct?
Sounds
Yeah.
And you need to stop a god. Yep.
I think we got this.
Yeah.
No worries.
Oh boy.
Fun. So everybody who's listening to the sound of my voice, look at the show notes. Find the place that you'd like to interact with us, whether that's Twitter, whether that's Facebook, whatever it is. We'd love to chat with you. I always love talking to our fans. Feel free to reach out. We love chatting with you. You're all amazing. And you all have a good evening.
To you
Thank
as
you,
well.
Thank you all so much.
And take care. And until next time, we will roll with you soon.